a relationship business. What I mean by that is, how effective, maybe effective isn't the right word, how effective are your relationships with the people that you encounter? And I'm not just talking about the customers. That's a given. We know this is a relationship building industry. What we do, selling vehicles, it's the second biggest purchase that people make in their entire life. Your rapport and your relationship with that person before, during, and after the sale is tantamount to you keeping that customer for life. And if you've been at a dealership, you're selling cars more than 3-4 years, and you're not getting at least probably 10 to 25% of your business from repeat referral customers at that point, then you're doing something wrong. But you shouldn't treat this, if you're that salesperson that's literally completely dependent on what's walking in the front door or what's being called, people who call in or people who send in internet leads, then you're doing it wrong. After 3-4 years, you should be building your own book of business off your repeat and referral customers. And how you do that is navigating the scope of the relationship you have with that customer before, during, and after the sale. So they should get before, follow-up. Everyone's got, a million different ways to do follow-up before someone actually buys a car. And everybody's essentially an internet customer now. Even customers who walk in the front door, I guarantee they did at least 10 hours, if not double that, of research before they ever walked in your door. They saw your website, they saw your employees, they saw your cars, your inventory, stuff like that. Generally speaking, they probably know more about the car than you do. So that's one relationship you have to navigate. The other relationships you have to navigate are with your employees. Can you go to any one of your employees and they know what your strategy is? Do they know that you sell for volume or you sell for gross? Do they know what your mission statement is? Do you know what they know what your strategy is? Do they know what your plans are for them within their organization? If you can't speak to that for every single one of your employees, you got work to do, my friend. You have work to do. You have to have a certain level of empathy, a certain level of rapport with every single person that you're interacting with in the dealership business. That's any customer-facing business. But I'm talking about automotive because that's where my expertise lies, in automotive. So the level of respect and value that you give to your clients and customers, that needs to extend to your employees. And I'm not saying anything groundbreaking here. This is common sense. How happy your employees are is directly indicative of how happy your customers and your clients will be. So you have to navigate that relationship that you have. And they're all relationships. I'm not talking about a romantic relationship. Every single interaction that you have to have with someone else, you have a relationship with that person, whether it be for 30 minutes, 2 hours, or 10 years, or your rest of your life. That's a relationship you have to navigate. Not all of them are romantic. In fact, a large majority of them, hopefully, are not romantic, are strictly platonic. Your business relationships with your customers, you have to have some kind of rapport building that starts literally from the first interaction. So whether that be a phone call, a text, an email, walking in the front door, whatever it is, you have to find common ground. We've gotten so beyond the relationship building because we all got lazy in COVID because there were so few cars for the last 3 years. Everybody's got lazy at selling. The relationship building, we've got to go back to that. Because it's not about the best price on the car. That's not what sells the car. Get that out of your head. Because if best price are what would actually sell the car, Yugo would still be in business. Saturn would still be in business. That's nobody would buy a Bugatti Veyron. Nobody would buy a freaking M6 because it's not the cheapest car. Those aren't the cheapest cars out there. But that relationship, that rapport that they've had, that salesperson built with that particular individual that bought those cars, that's what made them buy those cars. So you have to be able to navigate that literally from day zero of when you interact with that customer. You have to build that relationship. because you don't want to stop with the one car you're going to sell them today and then they leave and you hope and pray someone else walks in. One person will buy 8 to 10 cars in their entire lifetime. Why not sell them all 8 to 10 cars? And how do you do that? You build that relationship. Okay, let's start with the client. Let's start with the customers. Don't make your interactions, your communications generic. Make them personalized to that particular customer, like you're talking to them. Don't make it like, hey, thank you for your inquiry. We have that model in stock. Would you like to take a test drive? Nobody's going to respond to that. That's garbage. If someone emails you, sends you a lead in on the VDP of a vehicle on your lot, what you should be saying to them is, hey Joe, I got your information that you were looking at a Camry. Is there a good time that we can discuss this more by phone? I have 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock open today. Which one works better for you? That, my friend, that is a hook to get someone to pick up the phone when you call them or pick up the phone to call you. And the reason you want to ask for that instead of the appointment is because if you ask them for an appointment before you sold them the value on even coming into your store, then you just removed yourself from the consideration set, because they could care less about what you need. They want to know who's going to listen to them. So by not talking about booking an appointment, but instead talking about, let's get on the phone and talk about this so I make sure I have the right car to fit your needs, now you just made a difference. Now you've given them the value add on why they should buy from you. Lead with that, whether it be text, email, or a phone call, a phone pop. That's what you should lead with. And if they're a phone pop, say, are you looking to make this purchase this weekend? Or are you looking to make this purchase today? This weekend, fantastic. So I can't hold cars, but let me give you some idea of what we have, what else we have that's out there, so that when you do come in this weekend, are you looking at Saturday or Sunday? Great, Sunday, fantastic. 10 o'clock or more in the afternoon, maybe towards 2 o'clock? Great, 2 o'clock. Again, like I said, I can't hold this car for you, but what I am going to do is I'm actually going to have, if this car's here, fantastic. I'm going to have some other vehicles in back of my mind too and pulled up for you. I'm happy to send you the details if you like. However you want to word that, but let them know you're there to work for them. You're there to find the best vehicle, the best deal for them. By doing that, you actually gain a customer for life, not just for that one customer right now. That's it. So now as you're interacting with your employee, with other employees at the dealership you're at, showing them that you value them, showing them the respect that you respect them, goes worlds with them. So I used to work at a dealership. It was a really large dealership. The whole dealership, the lot was like 22 acres. And the showroom itself was huge. And where the internet office was compared to where we deliver cars was complete opposite ends of the dealership. Now, when I sold a car, or when my department sold a car rather, they would deliver, the valets, the porters would actually take the car from the delivery area, pull it up outside my office, and drop the keys on my desk. They did that for nobody else but me. And I got asked once in the time I was there, the 3 years I was there, I got asked, why do they drop the keys on your desk? I said, because at least once a week, I go buy those guys Gatorades, or I go buy those guys a bunch of tacos, or I go buy those guys a bunch of chips. At least once a week, I go and tell them how much I appreciate and I thank them. And that's why they do that, because I valued that relationship. I was out there washing cars with them sometimes when they got backed up or when they're understaffed. Those key little moments where you show people that you value and respect them, those are tantamount to that relationship that you have with their fellow coworkers. So it's not just about the relationships with the clients. That's very important for all of us to stay in business. But it has to be about the relationships that you have with your coworkers. The true test is knowing that they have your back in rooms that you aren't in. And if you can't confidently say that, that sounds like you got a problem. And the problem is pretty much with you. So you have to work to fix that. It can be fixed, but you got to put in the work to do it. That's all I got for this week. Thanks for watching. Happy selling.